Hey guys, this is Annie Margarita Yang back with another video for you today. This is part 3 of how to get a college education for only $100. Today, you're going to learn how you can answer interview questions with confidence when they ask about how you went about doing your education. Now, this applies both to whether you do go to college or not, but either way, right? If you follow my plan in video 1 and video 2 of this series, you're going to wonder, does this work? Is the employer really going to see the value that I bring to their company? Are they really going to want to hire me if I don't formally have a piece of paper to my name, or even if I do? Like, how do I actually follow this and actually convey to the employer, I'm the right person for the job, hire me? There's one thing I want to get through your minds first. And it is this. A lot of people expect their schooling, the name of the institution that they graduated from, to do the talking for them. People are willing to get into enormous debt. They're willing to pay over $100,000, borrow that much money in student loan debt, just to get into the most prestigious university that they can, because they believe that the brand name is what matters. And they come out and they expect the name of that institution to do the talking for them. Whether you have that or not, this will apply to you. You need to learn how to sell yourself. If you don't learn how to sell yourself, you're not going to get as many opportunities as you deserve, okay? So you're going to learn how to sell yourself. You're going to learn how to talk about yourself. You're going to learn how to spin any negative situation into much more positive, almost like how the media likes to spin news stories to make them sound like great when things are actually really bad. Okay? So we're going to learn how to do this today, and you're going to learn how to do this with confidence. So if you follow part 1 and part 2, and you're wondering how you can answer these questions, this is how. So when an employer asks you about your education and what makes you qualified for this job, you can do this. You can deliberately point out the fact that you don't have the formal education or qualifications that they're looking for. So you can straight out say as the first sentence, hey, listen, I understand I'm not your average candidate. You know, the average person who's my competition, they have that piece of paper to their name, and I don't. But here's the difference. I got an education. Getting an education doesn't necessarily mean it comes from school. School and education are not the same thing. Just because one gets schooled doesn't mean they get educated, okay? So what I did was I wanted to be smart. I didn't want to take on student loan debt. The average person graduates with about $36,000 in student loan debt today. And I didn't want to start my life with that. I wanted to be smart with my money. So I wanted to do the opposite of what everyone else was doing. I wanted to figure out first what I wanted to do with my life. And then I went ahead, I figured it out, I did a lot of reflection, and I finally realized that I want to make a career in insert here, all right? And after that, I wanted to know what was the cheapest way to learn about this subject. And then I created a plan, a reading list of about 20 books, which is the equivalent of how many classes the average college student takes in their major in order to get a bachelor's degree. That's about 20 classes. So I made a reading list of 20 books, and while working a job, one by one, I read through all of those books. Okay, I banged out about 1 book a week. So in about 20 weeks, I finished all of those books. I spent insert number of hours here each day, right? I spent 1 hour in the morning reading, 1 hour at night reading. I spent 2 hours per day reading to get an education in this. And all the while reading these books, I took notes. Every new thing I learned from each subsequent book that I was reading that wasn't already stated in a previous book, I wrote it down. And not only that, you can verify this, you can check this. I have it on my website, all right? Because later on, guys, I'm going to teach you how you can make your own website and have a blog and explain why. I have on my website blog posts detailing all of this, and I've written reviews and summaries of all of the books that I've read. And now I'm coming to you here. I want this job. I have solutions to offer you. Okay? Whatever you guys are struggling with, tell me about them. I want to hear your problem. Because I've read these books, I want to actually apply them in action. I want to actually implement some of these ideas. And, the interview is actually a two-way street. This isn't like all one-sided where the employer's grilling you. So this is the opportunity for you to find out what is it exactly the employer is struggling with. Don't make the conversation about you. Never, ever make the conversation about you. Whenever somebody asks you about you in the interview, talk about it for maybe 30 seconds and then give a transition statement and then flip the conversation around and make it around them again, okay? Make it about what is your problem? What are you guys struggling with? I want to figure it out. I want to get to the root cause of it and solve it once and for all. So at this point, once you made this feel about how you went about your education, flip it around. Ask them, what are you guys struggling with? And then after they let you know and you're able to gauge like the full extent of the problem and all its complexities, you can say, okay, well, based on the reading that I've done, right? You guys can try this solution, and this solution. I recommend you guys do it in this order because blah, 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 blah. What is your personal opinion? What is your expertise? You can do this even at 18 years old, I swear. If you have the discipline every day to sit down and read a book, it says a lot about your character because most people, even after they finish college, most people, they don't even read a book a year. A lot of people don't, okay? That's your average person. So if you're someone who you're able to just sit down, have the discipline to read a book and hold yourself accountable, the employer will already see that kind of character that you have. It is the discipline that matters. And also something that's really impressive to the employer that you're surprised by is if you're able to do this, like you're able to just sit down and you're like, I want to learn this. Let me learn it and see if I can solve your problem. You can also tell the employer, hey, for any other future problem you have, I'd be happy to also explore, learn more, okay? Even if it's unrelated to what we're doing now, I want to grow with the company. So whatever problem you guys are having, I want to help you solve those too. So I love to learn and I will read the books. I will attend seminars. I will watch videos. I will read articles. I will learn whatever I can get my hands on and I'm going to figure out what that solution is for you. I'm going to give it my best. You have my loyalty on that. And that kind of answer is going to be far more impressive for the employer than simply saying, hey, look at me. I'm so smart. I graduated from this school and therefore I deserve to have this job. Okay, if you can actually come to the table with something along these lines, you're going to get the job. Now, it's important to realize that only 10% of communication is what you say. So you can rehearse this as much as you want. You can script this all out and practice this in front of the mirror until it just rolls off your tongue. But you're going to still have to learn 90% of communication, which I think the next 10 or 20% is your tone of voice. So the quality of your voice, right? And then the other 70 to 80% is actually your body language. Your body language is what speaks volumes. So you still have to learn how to communicate and speak with conviction. Because if you're not able to say this with the same kind of conviction that I am showing you guys right now on camera, you're not going to be convincing or persuasive enough, regardless of what comes out of your mouth. Okay? So you need to work on those skills. If you need help or practice with this, then I highly recommend you look for a local Toastmasters club and get your competent communicator. After you give 10 speeches and you work on your public speaking, you will learn how to speak better and you will learn how to speak off the cuff and you will learn how to, go into that interview and answer those questions with confidence. I want to end with a story. So back when I was attending college, I tested out of my degree, right? About a full quarter of my degree, I self-studied, and then I took CLEP and DSST exams. Basically, they're like standardized exams that are the equivalent of a final exam that you would take in college. I took those exams, I passed, and then I transferred those passing grades into my university, and I got them like for credit. So each exam cost about $80 to $90, and I passed the exam, and I transferred them in for 3 to 4 credits each into my university. And that's basically how I was able to graduate with a bachelor's degree in 1 year and 9 months. I basically just kept self-studying at home, took those exams, probably took one exam every 2 weeks, and then I just banged it out. And when I initially came up with this plan, like I actually had to plan everything out, like which exams was I going to take, because I don't want to just study for an exam and figure out after trying to transfer it in that it doesn't count toward the degree requirement that I was trying to reach. And they actually ended up applying it toward an elective. So I actually needed to create a really comprehensive and thorough plan and keep communicating with that university. Hey, will this transfer in properly? Before I actually started like sitting down, studying and taking the exams. And people were like questioning what I was doing because this is really weird. They've never heard of anyone who's tried to test out of college, even though a lot of people in the military take tests because they don't have time to actually like be in even a remote class, right? So a lot of people in the military, they do take CLEP and DSST exams for college credit. So actually, this is really common in the military. But among the average population, they've never heard of this before. So they're like, Annie, is this legit? Are you really sure you're going to be able to get a good job after college? Like, what if it doesn't work out? What if this is just like a total waste of your time? And I remember back then, like, I was really scared. Yeah, how am I going to answer those questions? Like when someone's questioning whether I'm qualified, how will I react? Like it was really like, making me feel insecure. It was kind of like a hit to my self-esteem, but I'm like, I won't really know unless I give it a try. Right. So I said, you know what? No one's ever done this before, but let's see if this works, And employers were asking me about how I did my degree. So I basically told them like, hey, listen, I admit I learned practically nothing in my university years. Like, what am I going to do? I studied, I crammed for 2 weeks for an exam just to get a passing grade on a standardized exam and get college credit. I have retained none of that information. I've taken sociology exam, I took the math exam, so many of these different exams, U.S. history. If you ask me about them today, I cannot regurgitate any of those facts because they were only in my short-term memory, and then like they just totally went through one ear out the other, right? Nothing got retained. So I openly admit that in my interviews, but I tell them, you know what I really learned doing this though? And this is a life skill that I always carry with me today. I learned how to plan. I learned how to plan out all of my courses well in advance to make sure I didn't take a single exam that didn't count toward my degree requirements. And then with each exam that I had to study, I had to learn how to find the resources for studying because, hey, one of the great things about going to college, like a regular college, is they tell you what to study. They tell you what resources you need. What I did, you don't know what resources you need. You have to figure out, well, what is the best textbook for me to get? What are the best videos? Like I had to actually look for those resources, right? So that's another skill I had to learn because anytime I want to learn something new, I still take that with me. And then the third most important skill that I learned from that time was I learned how to manage my time because it is not easy to graduate with a bachelor's degree in 1 year and 9 months. Basically, I'm doing it in nearly a little over double what the average person is doing. Actually, more than that because people are finishing their bachelor's degree in 6 years these days, not 4. Okay. So it was a lot of work, and basically from morning to night, I didn't work. I didn't have a job during that time in my life. had to move back in with my parents. My mom drove me to school, to community college. She cooked for me all 3 of my meals. Basically, she took care of everything just so all of my time could be focused on studying and finishing really quickly, right? But I really learned to master my time management because the workload was just insane. And then the 4th most important lesson I learned is I learned to negotiate. So in community college, because I was trying to finish so quickly, I tried to load those credits on. And there was one particular semester when I wanted to take a 21 credit course load. And I think the registrar was telling me that the max anyone can take is 18. And then I was like, no, but I want to graduate by a certain time period. Like I gotta go. I just got married. I have to go move and be with my husband. And if I'm forced to take this one extra class the semester after instead, basically I would be moving in with my husband like 6 months past what I really want. I really gotta move. Can you guys do something for me? And they were like, well, you're going to need special permission from this person who's like really high up. So I was like, okay. I mean, if you guys have rules and then you guys are able to make exceptions, let me go talk to this person. I spoke to that person, I explained my situation. I really want to take 21 credits, not the 18. I can handle the workload. Trust me, I'm not going to get an F. I've been a straight A student my whole life. You can take a look at my transcript, Also, during this time at community college, I was getting straight A's in every single class. So please, can you just make a special exception for me and allow me to take this class during this semester? And he signed off the paperwork. He approved. Not many. There was very few people were taking like 21 credits the semester. And I ended up getting all straight A's. But like, this skill was far more valuable than anything else because I learned that even in university, these so-called rules that everyone places on you, you have to do this, you have to do that. Rules, they can be flexible. Like you can negotiate. Just because something is written in writing doesn't mean you have to follow it. It's not like the letter of the law. Right? Not everything is so black and white. This was something that I learned from reading the book, You Can Negotiate Anything by Herb Cohen. It was a really life-changing book because this guy was negotiating anything and everything. And he said, one of the problems is people think that just because something is written down somewhere, then it's not negotiable. But that's not necessarily true. So I was trying this stuff out during my college years. And that was actually a really important skill that I still carry with me today. So when I go into an interview and I talk about my experience of how I tested out of college, I say, forget about all like the stuff I actually learned in the classes. These are the 4 life lessons that I walked away with that have shaped me into who I am today. That these are skills, soft skills that I still carry with me today. And these are really important skills in the workplace. And it's going to help me with my career and help me help you as well with your company. Okay. So my career ended up turning out really well, despite testing out of college and despite people were like doubting me and wondering like, I wonder where she's going to end up with this, right? Is anyone really going to want to hire her if she tests out of her degree? And, I have had no problem getting jobs while openly telling people that I graduated with testing out. So that's just my personal testimony that this works. People hire for character. They hire for personality. I can train any monkey how to do a job. Okay, I can create a training manual. I can create a training program. I can train you how to do a job, but I cannot train you how to have character, how to have integrity. I cannot train you how to have a good and positive attitude while doing your work. I cannot train you how to have passion for what you do. So if you have these things, they want that because they cannot train you how to do that. They can train you how to do the job. Okay, get that through your head. Okay, that's it for you guys today. I gotta go now. Real quick, if you enjoyed today's video and you found it really life-changing, I want you to support me. Buy my book, The 5-Day Job Search. You can buy it on Amazon, but also for a limited time only, if you go on AnnieYangFinancial.com, you can add the book to your shopping cart and you can get a personally signed copy from me. If you're still debating whether you should get this book, yeah, I get it. Why should you buy this book, right? If you're still debating, you're still thinking about it, you can get the audiobook for free. It's also available at AnnieYangFinancial.com. You're going to realize after listening to the audiobook, wow, this is so good. It's chock full of so much information. You're going to want to actually buy the book itself because it has 49 chapters. So when you want to reference back to something, you don't want to like go through 5 hours worth of audio. You want to actually like be able to just flip through the book and find exactly what you're looking for really quickly. It's almost like a Bible, I would say. It's something you want to read over and over again and you want to refer back to it when you need it, because this is not something that you can implement like right away. You're going to read something, you're like, oh, I want to implement that. And then you'll come back to it maybe a month later. Now, what's the next thing I can implement? So that's why it's better if you get the physical book and not just listen to the audiobook. Okay, that's it for you guys today. Don't forget, skip the student loan if you're in Gen Z. All right, skip the student loan. You can go to college. College is a good thing. Get an education, right? But if possible, skip the student loan. Hope you guys are well and happy. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, yeah, before I sign off, I said bye, but I also forgot, please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe for more videos in the future. I plan to upload maybe between 2 to 3 videos per day, except on Saturdays going forward, because you guys, we are going to enter into what's the second Great Depression. This isn't just going to be a recession. It's going to be a Great Depression. During the Great Depression, we had 20% to 25% unemployment rate in the 1930s. So it's going to be really hard economically for so many people. So please, please, please subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.